Hello, welcome again to another video of me working on this Mark II project. Yeah, I'm determined to get this car on the road as soon as I can. So yeah, today I'm going to try and raise up the suspension a bit because yeah, it's sitting on the floor. So I need to try and raise up the suspension a bit, get the track rod ends tightened up. I'm going to try and fit the front cross member as well today, try and get that bolted up, and then potentially the front bumper as well, so I can get the engine dropped in, get all the front end secured. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Hopefully it'll be better than last time, because yeah, I put a bit of a dent on the rear panel, which I'm still a bit annoyed about, but another thing to add to the list. Here we go. Well, I got the car back on axle stands just temporarily whilst I tighten up. So I've adjusted the tracking by eye on this side, so I just put the wheel back on and I've sort of lined it up with the lined it up by eye just temporarily, because both the front wheels are actually towing out. So you know, if I try and test drive the car, it's not going to be very happy. So obviously it's not perfect, but I've just adjusted it by eye. So I've tightened up the track rod ends, tighten that up as well. I need to raise the coilovers a bit, because at the moment it's like absolutely slammed. It does look cool, but it's not practical. So yeah, I need to raise up the suspension quite a bit on the front and the back. I'm going to try and get the car looking a little bit raked when it's finished, so a little bit higher at the back than the front. Yeah, so I can get these. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep these coilovers as a permanent thing. I may upgrade them at some point, but we'll see how it goes with this for the time being. Right, so yeah, I've got a little helper here. This is little Gypsy. Say hello, little Gypsy. Yeah, say hello. Yeah. Right, so yeah, I'm raising up the suspension. So basically, to lower a car, you'd move this down, and to obviously raise up the suspension, you go up. It's quite straightforward. So you just twist this till you get your desired height. And what I tend to do, I get a ruler and then measure from the bottom of there to a fixed point down here. So I've got I've measured 120 to here on the other side, so I'll do the same on this side, then hopefully that raises the suspension up a bit. I mean, really low cars do look cool, but practically, you know, driving it on the road is a nightmare, especially in the UK, as you know. I think airbags, if you want to get a really low car, definitely go airbags. Don't slam it on coilovers, because you're just going to break your back and the car. Because one thing you do get, if you slam the car on coilovers, obviously the angle of your wishbones is kind of like a negative angle. Like, so instead of the wishbone being level like it should be, when it's lowered, that it's actually like angled like this. So it's actually angled up, which is not great. So ideally you want to try and keep your wishbone level. Obviously you can get I think you can get modification for the anti-roll bar. I believe there are some modifications available that you can get. Plus I'm getting older as well now. I used to drive around with a really low car, you know, your wheels would be rubbing in the arches when people get in the back and stuff like that, and you break your back if you go over a pothole. Handle's good though, round corners, bit of fun. But yeah, I'm getting on a bit now. Wow. Let's see how it goes. Right, so there you go, I've raised up the front. Without the engine in the car, that's actually probably a sensible height, because by the time the weight of the engine is in there, it should lower it down to a sort of reasonable height. So yeah, just got to do the back now. Just got to raise the back up a bit, because it does look cool, but it's just impractical, unpractical being that low at the moment. Right, you can see here where I lowered the car onto the jack on the fuel tank. Doesn't appear to be any cracks. It's just a few marks on the plastic, so I might have gotten away with that. But yeah, I can't believe I had the blooming jack on the rear beam and I lowered the car down, and yeah, I've pushed in the rear valance, which is a real shame because that rear valance was mint. But I can straighten that out again. I can fix that. But yeah, it looks like the fuel tank's okay. You can see where I've had to slide it out. I jacked it up with another jack and then sort of slid it out, but I don't think it's actually punctured the fuel tank, which is handy because I'm going to use this fuel tank. I'm actually using the Mark II, the existing Mark II fuel system, the fuel pump, and the fuel tank, because this is actually a K-Jet car. It's not a Digifont car. It's a K-Jetronic car. So this fuel system will work with the R32 engine. I have got a Mark III Golf fuel tank as well, so if this doesn't work, I'm pretty sure it will work, because I'm pretty sure the K-Jet fuel systems are actually okay for the VR6. It's just the Digifont ones you have to change, I believe, so we shall see. But yeah, I've got a Mark III tank I can use if I need to. I was hoping to save that for the other Golf, which I'm putting the 20 valve in, so yeah, I'd prefer to run this on the original fuel system if I can. 99% sure you can, but obviously if anyone knows, I'm sure the K-Jet fuel system that works with the R32 engine. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but we'll see. Right, I've got the car sitting at more of a sensible ride height now. So yeah, the rears, I prefer to have a little bit of a gap at the back. I don't like having it slammed to the floor, so I mean that's probably quite comfortable where that is. Yeah, because if I have people sat in the back, I want to be able to drive the car. And then at the front, obviously it looks a lot high. It looks high now, but obviously with the engine in there, once the engine's in there, it's going to be sitting at more of a reasonable height. I might have to make some adjustments possibly once the engine's in there. I might have to sort of readjust everything just to kind of get it perfect. But for now, that's kind of roughly where I want it to sit. The rear I'm pretty happy with. Yeah, so we'll see how that looks when the engine's in. Happy days. Right, so a little bit more progress. I've got the front cross member on. So I've got a Corrado front cross member, and then the Mark II radiator support. I've got a new engine mount rubber inside there. I've still got to cut down the rear engine mount. So basically what you need to do, you've got to remove 15mm. This is the rear engine mount. Obviously the rubber sits inside. You've got to remove 15mm of the rubber to lower this down, and you've also got to trim. You've also got to cut down the bolt inside as well, so it sits a little bit lower. Yep. So that's a job I need to do as well. Also a good idea, you can fill all the holes with some sort of sealant to sort of give it a bit more rigidity. So I'll do that as well. That's another little job to do. Right, another job done. So I've fitted the power steering lines. I probably should have fitted those before I put the subframe in the car, actually, so it was quite fiddly to get all these round the back. These ones I had already fitted, but I think in future it's definitely a good idea to fit these first. So yeah, that's the power steering lines in. Also, another little job I've just finished, the inlet manifold. So I've sprayed it gloss black, put some lacquer on it as well, and I've fitted the R32 badge as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's going to look really nice. It'll break up the silver a little bit, because it's just, like I say, it's a silver car. Yeah, that's the original badge. Obviously, it's not an R32 engine. It's out of an Audi TT, a BHE engine code. But obviously, they call, you know, it's known as the R32 conversion. So I just think that looks pretty smart, in all fairness. So yeah, making progress. Right, so what I've got here is the original 3.2 thermostat housing, and the Mark III Golf VR6 thermostat housing. Basically, on this conversion, you're better off using the Mark III Golf VR6 housing, coolant temperature housing. It's got the sensor, which is I've taken from the 3.2, the two blanks, and then I've got the thermostat. So yeah, bought this as a complete kit. Comes with a pipe. You can use the pipe that's already on the engine, so I'm going to do that rather than taking it all apart again. Yeah, it's all about the angle where these hoses come out of, so it's different to obviously the 3.2, and this allows you to run the Mark III Golf VR6 coolant hoses. It just puts them in an easier position when working on the car. As you can see here, the difference there. Look. There we go. Right, so I've just robbed the seal, the sealing ring off this new one. I didn't want to replace it because I've already got the water pump and everything, all the bracket already on there. So I've just put the new seal on there. The only other thing you need to do, obviously the 3.2 housing is a bit deeper. So what I've had to do, I've had to remove 30mm off these long bolts. So it goes there and there. The short one is still the same, so that's okay. But yeah, the two long ones for the thermostat housing, you need to trim those down by 30mm in order to fit the VR6 thermostat housing. So a little quick, easy job. Right, so that's the Mark III Golf VR6 temperature housing, thermostat housing installed. Wasn't too bad actually. I just had to trim down those two bolts. That one there, the original one there, is okay. So yeah, that's another job done, another job ticked off. It's amazing how all these parts are interchangeable. Makes the process a lot easier. So now I can use the Mark III VR6 coolant hoses. There we go. Right, it's time to crack on with the wiring now. So I need to remove the pedal box and get all the wiring loom sort of fitted into the car roughly. So I've already removed the dashboard. They actually come out quite easy on these cars. It's only a few bolts, and this is what I'm looking at here at the moment. So a little bit of the original wiring to tidy up a little bit. I've already had an aftermarket immobiliser that I've removed, so I've got to resolder some of the wires together, then get the pedal box out, and then I can actually start installing the wiring. Here we go. Stay tuned. Oh yeah, one other thing I've done, I've fitted the auxiliary drive belt as well. So basically, you get rid of the air conditioning compressor, then you just get a slightly shorter belt. Use the same bracket, use the same accessory bracket, just with a different belt. So the belt goes like this. And what I bought a Dayco 6 rib 1270mm length. You can also use a 1264 as well, but I've gone for the 1270. And yeah, it's a 6 rib belt, just like only the teeth on one side So obviously the belt that was originally on there has got teeth on both sides. That's the part number there. That's another little job done. Hello. Right, I thought I'd do a little bit of I don't know, like an added thing to my video today. Yeah, I've never actually done like an engine conversion before on a car. You know, I've done plenty of work on cars before, like replacing engines like for like, welding and things like that, and repairs. But yeah, I've never actually done an engine conversion before. But yeah, just a little bit of bit of advice to people that have never done it before. Do your homework. You need to have a bit of mechanical knowledge and be handy to be able to do it. Patient, you need to be very patient as well. Half of the battle is trying to find all the right parts, and there is a lot of information online about doing certain conversions. Obviously some of them are more popular than others. Obviously the R32 conversion that I'm doing, there's quite a lot of them out there. So yeah, the internet's been really handy looking up information online. I'm doing a lot of research and writing stuff down in a notebook. Collecting all the right parts has taken a long time, but also having the time to do it. I mean, that I actually started this project back in 2019, before the lockdown. But yeah, I had a lot of issues in my life, shall we say. But it's having the motivation to do it as well. So I mean, right now I've kind of made quite a lot of progress on the car. So I actually feel really positive about it. You know, there's been a few bits that have been difficult, you know, like stripping threads and like having to drill things out and tap things and things like that. A lot of it as well, I'm kind of not going too crazy with the rebuild of the engine. You know, it was sold to me as a running engine from a reliable source, so I haven't even opened it up. I've not even taken the rocker cover or the sump off or anything like that. I'm just putting it all together basically. And same with the gearbox as well. I was going to get it all rebuilt, the gearbox, with a quaif diff and everything like that. But it's the money, but not just the money. It's also the time. I've been struggling to get a supplier to do it for me. You know, get someone to do it for me reliably, who's not like really busy. And I just kind of want to get the car running and driving really. So now, I mean, it's kind of just got to the point now where it's taken me so long to get to this point in the project that I've just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it and start putting it together. And just if I have to, you know, once I've got the car running and driving, hopefully it will run and drive. Once it's running and driving, if it needs anything, you know, if I start using the car and there's a few things I think, oh, you know what, it needs upgrading or whatever, or yeah, I do need a limited slip diff, an LSD, then I'll take it all apart again and do it at that point. But yeah, it just when I took on the project, I kind of just started taking the car apart really, and I didn't really have it. I sort of knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's actually going quite well. You know, it's going quite well. I'm actually taking things, putting that back together again now. A few little hiccups along the way, but that's how you learn, right? So yeah, watch this space. Hopefully once I've successfully completed this project, I've got another Mark II Golf, an early 84 GTI that I'm going to put a 20 valve turbo engine in, and it's all going to be totally stripped out, a couple of bucket seats, roll cages, like a track day car, 20 valve turbo track day car, so that'll be fun. So yeah, once I've finished this, that's the next project. And then I've also got my other Mark II as well, which I'm not sure what to do with yet. I don't know whether to I might do an engine swap in that as well. Maybe like a G60 or something, or something supercharged maybe. So yeah, watch this space. Hopefully once I've got this silver Golf finished, I'll be on to the next one. So let's see how it goes.